This is The Wire for 2100 Zulu, April 29th, 2025. Precedence is routine. Information cutoff is 2000. Bottom line up front. Liberal Party wins Canadian election. Disturbance on flight in Brazil causes delays. Firefighter murdered by high-risk individual just released on bail. Beginning with international events, in Canada, yesterday's election resulted in a narrow win for the Liberal candidate Mark Carney, who was to remain Prime Minister after being passed the role by Justin Trudeau a few weeks ago. In Brazil, this morning a disturbance was reported on board an American Airlines flight bound for New York. Shortly after boarding was conducted on American Flight 950, a woman became belligerent and attempted to rush the cockpit. The woman was restrained by the flight crew and was removed from the flight, along with a different man who became agitated during the incident as well, which then proceeded to its destination without further incident. Analysts comment. This probably wasn't a deliberate terrorist attack. Most of the videos of the incident suggest it was more of a mental health incident. However, since the aircraft was still at the gate, the cockpit door was left open, per standard procedure, so the flight crew had a hard time keeping the woman out of the cockpit during the incident. In Sweden, this afternoon a small arms attack was reported in Uppsala, a small town just north of Stockholm. 3 people were killed during the attack, which reportedly broke out inside a hair salon near Vaksala Square. The attackers remain at large, having fled the scene in a vehicle. Police have not provided any details regarding the attackers. Analysts comment. At the moment, it's not clear as to if this was a mass shooting and/or targeting of random civilians, or if this was more along the lines of a skirmish between rival gangs. The immigration crisis faced by Stockholm has been a major contributing factor for gang violence, which often breaks out in the form of bombings and skirmishes in the streets between rival groups. On the home front in New Mexico, Jose Luis Cano and his wife have been released from jail. The former magistrate judge and his wife were released after each posted a $10,000 bond. In Missouri, yesterday, a firefighter was fatally stabbed by a patient in Kansas City. Firefighter and paramedic Graham Hoffman was stabbed by Shanita Bossel while en route to the hospital. Analyst comments for this wire. The murder in Kansas City is the direct result of a judge releasing a violent criminal, knowing that the criminal was a threat to society. In this case, Bossel had been released from jail pending a different case that had occurred just a few days prior. On April 23rd, Bossel attempted to break into a police officer's personal vehicle with a brick. During the response and subsequent fray, she bit the officer several times and attempted to stab him with his own knife, prompting her arrest on a slew of charges. On Friday, regardless of the violence displayed by this individual, Judge Louis Angels set a bond of $10,000 for her, despite the prosecutor explicitly arguing that she was a danger to the community. This concludes The Wire for 2100 Zulu, April 29th, 2025.